Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's council meeting. Before we start the council meeting, we will be having a public forum. I must start by reading the conditions of the public forum. The public forum is being audio recorded for administrative purposes. By speaking to the public forum, you agree to being recorded. Please ensure that if and when you are speaking at this public forum that you are respectful to other people and use appropriate language. Albury City accepts no liability for any defamatory or offensive remarks or gestures made during the course of this public forum. Okay. We have no conflict of interest declarations received in relation to the public forum. PF3, the speakers, we have PF3.1, Sally Reichel, CM 13.2, draft Lavington Swim Centre redevelopment concept plans, speaking for the recommendations. Sally, if you could step up to the mic, thanks.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and councillors. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you tonight on behalf of the North Albury Swimming Club. While stage 2, I believe, has been recommended, I will say our preference is for stage 3. As one of the largest stakeholders at the Lavington Pool, we see the most viable option is stage 3 pool to be built under the Australian FINA swimming standards for the long-term growth of all water sports. With the rapid growth in our club, we now have over 90 swimmers and more substantial inquiries on a weekly basis. This option would give us more capacity and lane space. With a 25-metre pool, we can not only develop our junior swimmers, but also be able to hold large events that require a warm-up, cool-down pool that would attract many swimmers and in turn bring a financial benefit to the Greater Albury area. We all know that the Lavington Pool is at the end of its life cycle and something needs to be done sooner rather than later. While yes, the option for the council to proceed with the Lavington upgrade is not what some aquatics community are hoping for, I do hope they have thought of the consequences of possibly no Lavington Pool in 2027. The further this upgrade is delayed will result in a very interesting situation at the Albury Pool due to capacity constraints. Just an insight into the North Albury Swimming Club, we have 21 national age and multi-class swimmers and 4 open national swimmers. This is the largest in our region. Even our junior swimmers are competing at the highest levels in both state and national arenas, and they are all doing this in the oldest pool in the Albury area. To remain competitive and, more importantly, to give our talented swimmers the option to stay in Albury, we need to invest in better aquatic infrastructure. Without this, we're at risk of losing not just athletes to the cities, but families, people who would otherwise be helping to grow and strengthen our region in all areas, not just sport. Last summer, the Lavington Swim Centre hosted the largest number of school swimming carnivals in the Albury area. As you all know, swimming is a year-round sport. Our high-performance swimmers require training facilities for a 12-month period to continue with peak fitness. You don't stop training in March and pick up again in September. Without a suitable winter option, our athletes fall behind. We currently have more squad swimmers than we have lane space, especially in the colder months. That means some of our most promising young athletes miss out on crucial winter swimming, and with that, their opportunity to compete in winter swimming events between May and September. Swimmers often have to compete with water polo training and learn to swim classes just to get some space in the water. Even our New South Wales Southern Inland Swimming Association Short Court Championships, which is held in June, an event that should be based in an Albury Lavington area, has to be held at the Wodonga Leisure Centre because we don't have the facilities. Smaller centres like Wangaratta, Wagga and Griffith already have both outdoor-indoor heated options. Albury should not be left behind. We have the talent, we have the history, and we have the need. What we don't have yet is the facility to match. So tonight I ask you to consider not just the pool itself, but what it represents. Let's give our community a facility that we can be proud of, not just for summer fun, but an all year round achievement. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a question. Councillor Baker.
Thank you, Mayor. Question for you, please, Sally. Just with the proposed new pool at Lavington, the winter is the question I'd like to find out about. Have you guys been going to Albury to swim all year in outside, or are you trying to do GTs and Wodonga Sport and Leisure?
So at the moment, majority, do swim at Swim Tech, the old GT. We have only just been allocated lane space at Albury Pool, which is another issue. We basically get dropped off, and the way that it's been arranged with the Lion Leisure has been appalling, and we applied 2 years in a row now and we're told that it's whoever swam there last year gets it this year. So we missed out initially until we had a committee member put some pressure on, and we finally got a couple of lanes, but when we arrive, the lanes aren't necessarily there, but they have twice isn't a response.
Yeah. Can I follow up
Mm.
question just about winter swimming?
Yep.
More than that. For the really elite, do they train twice a day, and can they do it outside when it's really cold?
Yes, if the pool temperature is correct, they can do that training outside. At the moment, they are only training once a week. However, I did see notification that they are upping it to twice a week. Once a day, every morning. They are upping it, I believe, to once or twice a week in the afternoons as well, the elite guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Callaghan.
Thanks for your presentation, Sally. I've just got a question around, you mentioned also outdoor, indoor pool. So given that this is an outdoor pool, is that suitable for your user group?
As long as it's heated, totally. Yep. For the winter, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, no further questions, I don't believe. Sally, thanks for your presentation and thanks for giving us your time.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move straight into the council meeting. Welcome to tonight's council meeting for Monday, the 26th of May, 2025. We'll start with the opening affirmation and acknowledgement of country. We could all stand, thanks. We gather to represent the people of Albury who have entrusted us with this task. May our efforts be blessed with insight, wisdom, and common sense. May our personal values give us honesty and courage to serve our community effectively and with respect for all. Acknowledgement of country. We would like to acknowledge the Wiradjuri people as the traditional custodians of the land that we meet upon today, and pay our respects to the elders past, present and future, for they hold the memories, culture, tradition, hopes of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people that contribute to our community. Thank you. Recording and webcasting of this meeting. This council meeting is being webcast and recorded. By speaking at the council meeting, you agree to being recorded and webcast. Please ensure that if and when you are speaking at this council meeting that you are respectful to other people and use appropriate language. Albury City accepts no liability for any defamatory or offensive remarks or gestures made during the course of this council meeting. An audio recording will be made for administrative purposes. Conflict of interest of declarations received by the chair and disclosure of political donations. I have not received any. Mr. Zachnich.
Thank you, Mayor Mack. No conflicts of interest declarations received for the meeting and no development applications for consideration under the Environmental Planning and Assessment Act this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're up to apologies. We have no apologies. CM 4.1, CM 4.2. Thanks to councillors. Attendance by councillors at meeting by audio visual link. Councillor King.
I move that council receive, note and accept the attendance of Councillor Glacken, Councillor Bukowski and Councillor Cameron via audio visual link for the meeting.
Thank you. Councillor Bullivant.
Happy to second that, Mayor Mack.
Thank you. I'm happy to put that motion. All those in favour? Thank you. The motion is carried. There are no Merrill minutes. Action plan, CMC.1, action plans complete for noting only. 6.2, actions awaiting response from external parties. 6.3, actions in progress. 6.4, long-term issues more than 3 months. Thank you, councillors. Councillor Callaghan.
Thank you. I'd like to move the recommendation that the following action plans be received and noted. 1, action plans complete for noting only. 2, actions awaiting response from external parties. 3, actions in progress. And 4, long-term issues more than 3 months. Thank you.
Thank you. Seconder, thanks. Councillor King.
Need a second?
Thank you. Councillor Callaghan, did you wish to speak to those at all?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Appears to be no question or debate. Happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against the motion is carried. Thank you, councillors. Confirmation of the minutes of the previous meeting held on Monday, the 12th of May, 2025. Councillor King.
I'd like to move that the minutes of the council meeting held on Monday, the 12th of May, 2025 at 6:06 p.m. be confirmed.
Thank you. Councillor Bullivant.
Happy to second those, Mayor Mack.
Thank you. Councillor King, did you wish to speak to those at all?
No, thanks.
Okay, happy to put the motion. There's no question or debate. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. Thank you, councillors. There are no reports from community forums, no notices of motions or rescissions, no presentation deputations, reports and minutes of committees and working parties. We have 11.1 minutes of the Crime Prevention Committee meeting held on Tuesday, the 4th of February, 2025. Councillor Callaghan.
Thank you. I'd like to move the recommendation that council receives, notes and accepts the minutes of the Crime Prevention Committee meeting held on Tuesday, the 4th of February, 2025.
Thank you. Councillor King.
Happy to second the motion.
Thank you. Did you wish to speak to that, Councillor Callaghan?
Yes, thank you. Just briefly, it's been noted in the Board of Mail this week with some issues around graffiti. The community safety team has launched stage 2 of its graffiti awareness campaign, so targeting businesses and property owners to be more aware about how they can minimise vandalism. And graffiti kits are now available at Glen Echo and Mirrabina community centres to access that as well. And our youth team do a great job in that space. And the only other one was Wellfest, which was the Youth Council update at the meeting. We had that not last weekend, the weekend before, which was also on Ida Hobbit Day. And they did an amazing job at QE2 Square in hosting that event aimed around youth mental health and wellbeing. So a great congratulations to that youth team. Thank you.
Thank you. Question from Councillor King. Councillor King.
Through you, Mayor Mac, to the most relevant member of staff, just in relation to graffiti, can you explain the process in terms of how we are able to get in a team of experts from time to time to help clean up those hard to reach graffiti places that aren't businesses?
Sorry, Councillor King. Yes, privately owned businesses. Ms. Coe.
Thank you for the question, and through you, Mayor Mac. In terms of graffiti, if it is on council assets, then we have an organisation who we reach out to who can then do the cleaning in the more complicated places. If it is on private individual assets, we first of all need to provide the information to the individual about how they can clean their own graffiti, and we provide them with those kits. If it is in relation to bridges or, public assets like that, then it's about us working with the relevant department, government department, because then the roads would have to be closed and specialists would have to come in to do that cleaning.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor King. Thank you, Ms. Goad. Okay, there appears no questions or debate. Happy to put that motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. We have 11.2 minutes of the Sustainability Advisory Committee meeting held on Monday, the 14th of April, 2025. Councillor Hudson.
Thank you, Mayor Mac. I move that Council A receives, notes and accepts the minutes of the Sustainability Advisory Committee meeting held on Monday, the 14th of April, 2025, and B endorses the following funding recommendations for applications submitted for the Land Management Incentive Program as per the table.
Thank you. Councillor Callaghan.
Happy to second.
Councillor Hudson, do you wish to speak to that?
Just briefly, Mayor Mac, it was the first meeting of the Sustainability Advisory Committee with the 4 additional committee members from the community. So it was great to hear their contributions. And I also wanted to thank the committee members and the staff who worked on the Land Management Incentive Program for their excellent work, coming up with some excellent funding proposals.
Okay, thank you. There appears to be no further questions or debate. Happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. Thank you, councillors. Okay, we have the minutes of the Floodplain Risk Management Committee meeting held on Thursday, the 10th of April, 2025. Thank you, councillors. Councillor Callaghan.
Thank you. I'd like to move the recommendation that council receives, notes and accepts the minutes of the Floodplain Risk Management Committee meeting held on Thursday, the 10th of April, 2025.
Thank you. Councillor King.
Happy to second the motion.
Thank you. Councillor Callaghan, do you wish to open debate on that?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so no further debate or question. Happy to move that motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. Thank you. There are no documents for sealing. Officers' reports for consideration. 13.1, the March quarter budget review. Thank you, Councillor Callaghan.
Thank you, Mayor Mac. I'd like to move the recommendation A, that we receive the March quarter budget review and adopts the revised budget estimates for the 2024-25 financial year. And B, authorises the drawdown of 35 million in budgeted loan funding during the 2024-25 financial year in the form of an internal loan from the Water Fund, subject to approval by the Minister in accordance with Section 410 of the Local Government Act 1993 for a 20-year term at an interest rate fixed at 4.12% for the first 3 years of the loan, and C, if ministerial approval is not able to be granted by the 30th of June 2025, that the budgeted loan be drawn down from the approved New South Wales Treasury Corporation loan facility. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Bullman.
Happy to second that, Mayor Mac.
Councillor Callahan, do you wish to open debate?
Yes, I do. Just briefly, Council's proposal to borrow the 35 million from the Water Fund instead of TEEP Corp is a smart and responsible move. Local governments are always find it quite difficult accessing loans, and this is a really creative way that puts no additional pressure on the government itself. We have a backup plan if the minister doesn't approve it as well, but it will save the general fund around $563,000 in interest in the 25-26 financial year. The Water Fund has enough uncommitted funds to lend, and it'll still provide a strong return. I think it's we've got a backup option. So in short, it's an option, is cheaper, it's safe, and it makes the best use of council's existing resources. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions or debate? Question up the top, Councillor Glacken.
Most relevant member of staff. Councillor Callahan just quoted a figure for the savings that would be made. Can that be clarified, please?
Mr. Finlayson.
Through you, Mayor Mac. Yes, thank you for the question. The savings are the difference between the T Corp 20-year fixed interest rate of 5.8% and the proposed 3-year rate that we're looking to apply for the internal loan of 4.12%.
Councillor Glacken.
Can I, for my benefit, can I have that figure again, please, that savings?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Finlayson.
Thank you, Mayor Mac. The saving is $563,000 in next financial year in reduced interest expense on the budgeted loan funding.
You hear that, Councillor Regan? Yep. Okay. Councillor King wishes to speak for.
Just to again note that the report offers quite direct and sobering news that we've been talking about for some time, that we do face several challenges in achieving long-term financial sustainability, given our limited options to raise revenues. Pretty strong wording here that these challenges present a significant threat to the funding of services and achieving intergenerational equity. So a real reminder here that Albury City really needs to align the level of service that we provide to the community with our financial capacity and the community's capacity to pay. In noting that, I do acknowledge that from the CEO and the broader team, some initiatives that have further been adapted to, I guess, reset that operational plan and 4-year delivery program. So they're noting that they're pausing recruitment to non-business critical vacant positions for the remainder of this year and next, reviewing and reducing budget allocations where possible for overtime, casual labour, labour hire, consultants, legal matters, information technology, attendance at conferences, travel and accommodation. So it certainly seems everyone's playing their part in trying to find those savings where we can. But again, I just think it's a timely reminder of our ability to meet our community's expectations in delivering our services, but also matching that with our capacity to generate revenue and income to support that. So noting also that the March quarter budget review does indicate that our projected financial position by 30th of June will be satisfactory when compared to industry benchmarks. However, improvements are still required for the general fund to achieve that operating result that is sufficient to sustain service levels. So just really wanted to highlight for councillors. I'm sure you've all read the reports, but just a few things to factor in there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor King. I have a question from Councillor Callaghan.
Yes, thank you to the most relevant staff member. It's just in the section that have projects greater than $250,000. Just hoping we can have an update on two of those projects. The first being the Albury Airport extension of Taxiway Charlie Stage 2 and also the redevelopment of Elm Avenue at the Botanical Gardens, where we're up to with those projects.
Thank you
Mr.
for the question, Councillor Callaghan, and through you, Mac. So just for clarity, that was Albury Airport Taxiway Charlie Extension Stage 2. It's nearing completion. Civil works have been undertaken since the last meeting over the last 3 weeks. The final works involve the final ceiling and then line work. That was planned to be undertaken tonight, but it has been deferred, and it will be undertaken over the next couple of weeks.
Thank you, Mr. Glass. And Elm Avenue, Mr. Costello.
Thanks for the question, Councillor Callaghan, and through you, Mayor Mac. Elm Avenue redevelopment is certainly on track at this stage. The landscaping works were put out to tender recently. We're currently evaluating the tender, which we hope to award in the near future. Upon which time the works would commence. At this stage, we've got a time frame of August to October for those works to be undertaken, obviously subject to awarding of contract and favourable weather conditions. We're certainly looking to proceed with that, the balance of that project in the near future.
Thanks, Mr. Costello. Mr. Glass.
Thank you. Are there any further questions or debate? Doesn't appear to be. Happy to move the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. Thank you, councillors. We have 13.2, the draft Lavington Swim Centre redevelopment concept plans, public exhibition outcomes. Councillor Cameron.
Thank you, Mayor Mac. I move that Council A, receive and note the submissions received during the public exhibition of the Lavington Swim Centre master plan, and B, adopt the Lavington Swim Centre preferred concept design, brackets, stage 3, close brackets, and long-term master plan, brackets, incorporating stage 4, close brackets, that will guide the future development of the site. C, note that a detailed design for stage 3 will now be completed as part of the current contract with Canvas Projects. D, receive and note the Lavington Swim Centre redevelopment funding options paper.
Thank you. Councillor Callaghan.
Happy to second the motion.
Thank you. Just going to get that amended on the screen, Councillor Cameron, before we can start the debate. Thanks. There's one we prepared earlier. Councillor Cameron, did you wish to open debate? Thanks.
I'll reserve my response. Thank you, Mayor Mac.
Thank you. Okay. Any further speakers for or against this item? Councillor Callaghan speaking for.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Mac. Supporting stage three of the Lavington Pool redevelopment is a smart, community-driven investment. When I ran at this last election, I committed to delivering economic development and investment for Lavington, to keep the Lavington Pool open with a 50-metre pool, sporting infrastructure that meets the demands of an active and growing community, considered planning for population growth. I want to deliver for our community, and I'll absolutely be supporting the stage 3 for Lavington Pool tonight, and I encourage my fellow councillors to do the same. Stage 3 of the Lavington Pool is not just the most popular option, it's the right one. Following public exhibition, 66% of submissions supported the overall plan, with stage 3 receiving the strongest preference. This clear backing reflects a shared community vision, a modern, accessible and year-round aquatic facility in the city's north. Critically, the current facility is reaching end of life. Stage 3 future-proofs the facility, providing long-term value while avoiding the inefficiencies of short-term or piecemeal upgrades which we've seen in the past. This is a moment to act decisively. Endorsing stage 3 is an investment in community wellbeing, economic opportunity, and a sustainable future for Lavington and the Greater Albury region. Stage 3 delivers on all fronts. Socially, it promotes positive physical and mental health benefits, encourages participation across all ages, and ensures safe, inclusive spaces for everyone. Economically, it will attract events, tourism and competitions while stimulating local jobs through construction and ongoing operations. It will support the Gelbart Park Master Plan as a regional sporting and green space precinct for Lavington. Strategically, it aligns with Council's long-term plans. It positions us strongly for external funding and reflects what the community has already clearly said that they want, which is stage 3 for Lavington Pool redevelopment. I grew up spending my summers swimming at the Lavy Pool with my sisters and our friends. This development will offer many more generations the opportunity to experience the offerings of a local community-orientated pool with safe access to water. Let's be clear, stage 3 of the Lavington Pool redevelopment isn't just about infrastructure. It's about investing in people. It's about ensuring that the future generations like mine can grow up with a safe, inclusive and modern space to swim, to play, to compete and to connect. It's about delivering on our promises and showing our community that their voices matter. Tonight, I stand by those commitments I made to the people of Lavington. I urge each of you to join me in supporting stage 3 because it's the smart choice, the community-driven choice and the right choice for Lavington's future. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Callaghan. I have a speaker for, but a speaker against. Councillor Baker, speaking against.
Thank you, Mayor Mack. First of all, I'm fascinated to hear that this is an all year round facility. We live in a fairly cold area and the drop off and the swimming during the winter months, even if it is open and available, is stark. There's not many people swimming. To go for the irresponsible option of spending 40 million plus on a project that doesn't offer very much more than we've already got at that facility is irresponsible and quite frankly, not smart. What I would like to point out is some of the points where the strategic alignment says that, first of all, inland waterways drowning prevention strategy. Our inland water drowning prevention strategy has 3 core pillars in safer aquatic environments, safer aquatic users, and safer aquatic activity. The pillars, this should align to a safer aquatic activity and safer aquatic users, but I cannot see how merely replicating and not differentiating our aquatic offerings support this. I reiterate that this does not solve our lack of indoor covered water, increases our learn to swim capacity, let alone our overall pool capacity. It's just a small increase. A growing sustainable economy. Can we call this plan delivering high quality sustainable infrastructure whilst all the planned pools are exposed to the elements and therefore inefficient with regard to their heating operation and subjected to quicker environmental factors-led deterioration? A proposal aligned to a growing sustainable economy would be one that attracts visitors to our city and stimulates economic activity. Rebuilding what we have now at an eye-watering cost will not do that. A caring community. Albury is inclusive and accessible for all ages and abilities. How can we be strategically aligned to this priority whilst ignoring the need for hydrotherapy water and not increasing the already oversubscribed learn to swim opportunities in the city? They will not do that in the winter. Our community's voice is considered in decision making, and I note Councillor Callaghan saying 66%. To note, of those 66% that said yes, 20 of those referenced the need for an indoor pool, could have been in the no column. 2 answered yes with verbatim negative on the project. Another 10 answered yes with sentiments towards the project in doubt. It is not a big number. It's not overwhelming. And everywhere I go, people are absolutely horrified at the cost for an outdoor seasonal pool. Our community's voice is considered in decision making. When we decide to fundamentally shift the goalposts in the middle of a have your say period on the facility in question, are we really considering the community's voice in decision making? When we provide the community with an opportunity to provide feedback on a proposal, yet force them into selecting one of 4 tabled options before they can do so, are we really considering the community's voice, let alone indicating that we even care what this voice is saying? When we're sitting here and discussing a proposal with over 34% genuine opposition, are we really listening? So I'm horrified that someone would even suggest we've got 16.5 million set aside and we plan to spend in excess of 40 when we've just said we've got no money. It beggars belief. So I won't be supporting it, and I intend to move an amendment to attach to option 2, depending on how this debate goes. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Baker. Speaker 4, Councillor Bukowski.
Yes, just briefly, I am speaking in support of the stage 3 development for the Lavington pool. It is clear that this facility is at the end of its life, and it's so important that the Lavington community does continue to have access to a safe and accessible public pool. It's also a much loved local asset. I remember using the Lavington pool as a child and attending swimming carnivals there. And our residents do deserve a facility that reflects the need of a growing and diverse community. That said, I do want to flag some concerns around the significant amount of external funding that's going to be needed to make this project happen. I am a little skeptical, but also slightly optimistic, and I really do hope that our staff can develop some compelling and innovative funding submissions to both the state and federal governments for grant opportunities. That might be the only way to deliver this project fully without putting any extra financial pressure on our community. So I do hope we can secure grant funding or even explore other creative ways to fund this project, because as I said previously, the Lavington pool is at the end of its life. It's important that we invest now to future-proof Lavington for a growing population and to also ensure that this vital community asset does continue to meet local needs for generations to come.
Thank you, Councillor Bukowski. I was speaker against. I'll take a question first. Councillor King, question.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Mack, to the most relevant member of staff, and noting that even today a concerned ratepayer was fearful of a possible special rate variation for a pool that he'll never use. Can you explain the risks in going straight to stage 3, as given that we do have it's running out of its useful life in a very short period of time, and yet this stage 3 plan is very, very costly. The report touches on the special rate variation, but can you give that a bit more context, please, in the scope of this motion that we have before us?
Mr. Class.
Thank you for the question, Councillor King, and through you, Mayor Mack. Yes, you're right. The report does provide a high-level indication of, should council choose to have a special rate variation, what the quantifiable nature of that would be. In terms of your first element of your question, in terms of the risk, it helps us to tailor our planning and our design by moving to stage 3 to stage. It's a master plan, and so it just means that we go to detailed design and planning phase for stage 3 immediately, should council choose to support the motion, rather than stage 2. The risk is relatively low from a design perspective. I'd like to emphasise there's still at least one more opportunity, potentially 2 more opportunities, noting that part D in the motion for council to decision points for council to have before this moves to construction.
Comfortable? Yep. Okay. Councillor Glycan speaking against, thanks.
Thank you. Yes, speaking against this motion from councillors Cameron and Callaghan. I'm speaking against it because I cannot support stage 3 at this stage. I was happy to consider tonight stage 2. Councillor Callaghan referred to not undertaking stage 3 at this time being a piecemeal approach. I'm not really sure what Councillor Callaghan thinks a piecemeal approach really is, because stage 2 is a fantastic plan in that it replaces what is there as existing infrastructure, modernises it. In fact, it actually expands on what is already existing at Lavington. So it's not really a piecemeal approach. I think stage 2 is the sound way forward. Stage 3 is $10 or so million more than stage 2, which was at $36 million, significantly more than we as a council have set aside. And noting the current economic circumstances that we find ourselves in, and councillors around the table often speak to those financial circumstances we as a council find ourselves in, that we're trying to manage the budget, we're trying to reduce costs and dare I say, increase funding. This is one of those areas we're meant to be trying to increase our funding. That will be very difficult to do if we go straight to stage 3. Moving to stage 2 immediately was a very good way forward, because it enabled the community to utilise those facilities within the next couple of years, should we be able to attract that additional funding. And then from there, build on aquatics facilities within Albury. Stage 3, stage 4, 2, 1, whichever, none of them enable us to have an indoor facility. And even with heating of the outdoor facility, that would be great to enable swimmers to use that space, but it won't be able to be utilised for learn to swim, let alone therapeutic water. For the people who need exercise water, they cannot use that water in the winter. The reality is, as many people made it very obvious in the Have Your Say feedback, even those who selected a stage because that was the requirement when you were doing the feedback, having your say, you had to select a stage. So even those who did accept or select a stage, many of them said that we should be building an all-year facility that is indoor. But even when we do have warm water available at the Albury pool, when it is even at the temperature it needs to be, we are only able to open that pool in the morning and the afternoon. We're not able to open that pool in the middle of the day. It shows clearly that there are many people in our community who will not go and utilise warm water when it's outdoors, even when it's at the right temperature. Stage 2 is the right answer for us at the moment. I cannot support stage 3. I'm interested in hearing Councillor Baker. He said he was foreshadowing an amendment. That's great. I would like to hear what that would be, because I can't support stage 3. It is not responsible for us as a council, noting the financial issues that we have and noting that we will not be providing any significantly greater water, in fact, very little greater water with this plan. We will not be providing indoor facilities, and we will not be providing better learn to swim over the year, nor will we be providing any therapeutic water. I cannot support this. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Gluckend. With two speakers for, councillor Bullivant speaking for, no questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Mac. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Now, for 25 years, I've been hearing the stories about aquatics in Albury, indoor, outdoor. I've got 120 million reasons why we can't build an indoor one, but we've got to give our people something in the areas that they need it. We've had 295 people reply to our Have Your Say, and it's been a pretty good result. Is what we've got to do something for our aquatics, and I take Stuart's arguments on board for getting some heated water indoor pools. But at the moment, in this particular financial situation, we are struggling to do what we need to do within the city already, and I do have concerns about the funding issues. And I wanted, if through you, Mr. Zachnich, could I ask a question to Mr. Ambrose, please? I mean, through me back to the relevant member of staff, please.
Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass, with our funding procedures, have we got a fallback position if we are not able to acquire any appropriate funding for this project?
Mr. Glass.
Thank you for the question, Councillor Bullivant, and through you, Mayor Mac. The funding options documented wasn't, the purpose of it wasn't to identify the funds that are available now, or exclusively identify the funds that are available now. It notes that there's not that many that at a federal or a state level at the moment. It also provided consideration as to what the loan impact might be, as well as what the special rate variation impact might be. And of course, the other option is to defer construction until funds become available if we choose to fund it ourselves.
Thank you. To get a pool up, we've got to spend money on infrastructure. I get that, but I have really grave concerns about the funding, and I've mentioned that numerous times. Yes, our people need it, and we've got to do these things, infrastructure and future building. So I will support the stage 3 development that has been moved, but with trepidation, because I do have fundamental issues with the funding process.
Thank you, councillor Bullivant. Speaker for, no speakers against. Councillor Hudson. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Mac. I do speak in support of this, but I do echo the concerns expressed by some of my fellow councillors. I have reservations about this, and not because I don't support a pool for Lavington, but it's precisely because I do support it, and that they do, as Councillor Bullivant and Councillor Bukowski have explained, that there's still questions around the funding of this. I think the more expensive and the more complex that we make a project, the greater the risk there is for cost escalation and for time overruns. And if we were able to analyze these things in isolation, if the question was just between a $45 million outdoor pool or a $120 million indoor pool, I think the value proposition is obviously in favour of the indoor pool, but that's not the decision in front of us. The decision in front of us is either having a pool in Lavington which will close if we don't do anything to upgrade it, or not. And the Lauren Jackson is clearly not on the table at this stage. So the decision in front of us is, what are we going to do about Lavington? As Councillor Bullivant said, there really are some really serious questions around the funding of this. And my concern is that not that we're spending too much money, but that we could potentially jeopardize the project by not having a clear enough funding model for this project. So I really do want to see a lot more detail around that, and acknowledging that the decision that we made tonight is not committing us to spend $45 million now, because as Mr. Glass has said, we do have 2 additional decision points to make before we get to that stage. So on those grounds, I'll be supporting the motion.
Thank you, councillor Hudson. Did you have a question, councillor Baker? Your button's pressed.
Thank you, Mac. I didn't really have a question. I would like to, if possible, add an amendment to this stage 3, so that hence I push the for button.
Okay.
Which are the last 2 points on my proposed amendment on stage 2, just for greater security, fiscal responsibility. I think it would be a prudent move to have them added to stage 3, if that's the way the council's going to vote.
Okay, just stand by. I had a question from councillor Glack, and we'll take your amendment straight after that, if you're okay with that.
Yep.
Yep. Councillor Glack, can you have a question?
Yes, it was with reference to figure a couple of councillors have used tonight, a figure of $120 million, I think, is something someone has referenced more recently. Councillor Bullivant referenced 120 reasons as to why the aquatics facility is not going ahead. And I just want to check, was that with reference to Cranbrook School upgrade?
Thank you, councillor Glack. And Mr. Glass, thanks.
Thank you for the question, Councillor Glacken, and through you, Mayor Mack. I interpreted the $120 million as the current, the most recent estimate for the aquatics facility at Lauren Jackson, noting that that estimate was undertaken in excess of a year ago.
Okay, thank you. It's just there was reference made by one of the submitters with reference to Cranbrook School upgrade, which was an entire school upgrade. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Back to you, councillor Baker, with your amendment. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes, I'd like to propose, if there's a seconder for it, to add E to option 3, which is request a further report be presented to council on completion of the detailed design and prior to commencement of advertising the tender for construction, which includes 1, estimated costs to operate the newly designed facility year-round if constructed, and 2, the opportunity to issue the tender for construction on a maximum contract value basis and/or construction program options that ensure the project remains within the financial capacity of council.
Thank you. Councillor Bullivant.
Happy to second that amendment, Mayor Mack.
Councillor Baker, speak to your amendment. Thanks.
Thanks, Mayor Mack. Only to provide an additional layer of security on our finances, because unless we get significant grant funding, there's no way Albury City can afford this. And I'd like a few checks and balances built into our motion tonight to give some sort of security to me and the people I represent in this city.
Thank you. Speaker for councillor Glacken for the amendment.
Indeed, thank you. Speaking for the amendment, I still need to decide whether or not I can support this motion, because I was happy to support stage 2. And I was happy to support stage 2 because it would provide better facilities and services for the people of Lavington. It was a stretch for, or would be a stretch for Albury City. It would be difficult for us to attract that funding. It's already more than double than we need.
Councillor Hudson, there's a point of order, councillor Glacken. Councillor Hudson.
Thank you, Mayor Mack. Just point of order on the grounds that councillor Glacken is rehashing the substantive debate prior to the amendment being moved and essentially having 2 bites of the apple.
Councillor, could you confine yourself to the amendment? Thanks. I note you mentioned stage 2 as part of your soliloquy. If you could just provide us with some debate about the amendment, which is...
Certainly. I have difficulty supporting stage 3 because it is significantly more, $10 million more than would have been for stage 2, which we would have difficulty attracting the funding for. I also wish to support the additional items, which is E, request further reports and information about the detailed plan before it goes to construction, because we need to ensure that if this is to go ahead, that we as a council are able to fund this. And this cannot be something that we are happily going to pass on as a cost to our community, which is why we need to ensure that this can be, if it is to be stage 3, that it can be provided through funding from external sources. We cannot, as a council, ask our community to fund that additional. Otherwise, we could have gone with stage 2 and that we would not have been necessarily asking them to fund it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Glacken. Do we have any more speakers for or against? Councillor King speaking for.
Noting that I think councillors are in furious agreement that Lavington deserves an upgraded pool, that the replacement of the pool we know is really well overdue, and I think all of us during the election campaign we're keen for that the lifestyle and the equity and all of those areas. So I think that is something we certainly are all in agreement with. So it's great to hear that support for that upgrade. I did want to note that of the submissions received, 100 of them were actually against the master plan. So I think that's something to factor in as well. And again, those concerns, the high costs, the impact on some nearby facilities, the men's shed, although I would expect that during the detailed design phase, they'd be heavily involved in that, and scepticism about the implementation, sort of fearing whether later stages would ever be completed and whether the project would deliver the promised benefits, and definitely the long-term maintenance and operational costs of the new facilities. I am comfortable that this amendment does sort of factor in some of those concerns that I'm sure we all would have in terms of the costs and the finances there. So that does give me some comfort, and yeah, it'll be a tough time because it's a lot of money that we're talking about, and I think everyone is quite nervous about what that may look like. We've got an urgent pool that needs to be replaced, and it's going to cost a lot of money. But I can see that councillors are in the majority of supporting stage 3. It would appear. I'm supportive of the amendment because it does have that E in there that I think might give us all a bit of additional comfort.
Mr. Mayor, on a point of order.
Thank you. Point of order, Councillor Cameron. What is it?
Mayor Mack, you've neglected to ask me as the mover and my seconder if the amendment is acceptable to us.
Councillor Cameron, happy to continue along the process that we're continuing midway through the amendment. Happy to deal with the amendment, and then if it becomes a motion, then we've gone through the process as well. So comfortable with that. Thank you for your point of order. Councillor Hudson speaking for the amendment.
Thank you, Mayor Mack. I do speak in favour of this amendment. I think it's a sensible amendment. It's just a request for information. We've certainly seen aquatic projects all around the country face significant cost escalation. Parramatta Aquatic Centre was originally planned at 77 million. It ended up being over 88 million by the time it was delivered. The Hobson Bay Council have just put their aquatic centre on hold because cost escalation has gone from 40 million to nearly 100 million, and they've said that they simply cannot afford to actually deliver that project now. So I would hate to see the same thing happen to us because Lavington deserves and needs a pool, and so I think anything that can provide us with additional security to ensure that the project is actually delivered for the people of Lavington and the people of Albury is a good thing.
Thank you. I was speaker for Councillor Callaghan speaking for the amendment. Is that right? Or you accidentally press your button? Okay. Councillor Bullman speaking for the amendment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Mack. The long story short is that since I've been elected to council in the last 6 months, I've had the word fiscal responsibility in my vocabulary very regularly, and most of my fellow councillors would see that. And I think this motion that Councillor Baker has, the amendment that Councillor Baker has moved, gives us a bit of security going forward, knowing where our projects are and the cost overruns if they arise, and we're getting the things before they happen. So I'm happy with the Councillor Baker's amendment. It gives us a good view into the costs going forward, and it gives our staff a bit of an idea. Okay, we might have to put the brakes on here and that, but yeah, information is the key, and we've just got to follow the trail. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bullman. Are there any more speakers for or against or questions on the amendment? Doesn't appear to be. Councillor Baker, do you wish to close debate on your amendment? Happy to put the amendment. Those in favour? Those against? The amendment is carried. The amendment now is part of the motion. Are there any more speakers to the motion, councillors? Councillor Baker, your light's on. You're speaking against the motion.
Thank you, Mayor
You've
Mac.
already done that. And you've
Yeah, but
spoken
there's
for
a-
the amendment as well.
Yeah, I did vote for the amendment. It's a different motion now.
Okay, away you go. Speaking
Um,
against.
I'd just like to have it on record that I'm horrified at the overcapitalisation proposed here in option 3 for an outdoor seasonal pool. And I don't think it's visionary or indeed responsible use of ratepayers' money. So I'll be voting against the motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more speakers for or against? Just to finish up, I'd like to speak for this motion. I think it's important to understand that the centre of Albury's already moved to Lavington and it's moving further north. And certainly the current plans for the Albury Swim Centre are also clear that it has 10 to 12 years left of life. And if you noted the CBD, Albury CBD master plan, it is not going to be replaced. So in 10 or 12 years, when that pool is no longer available, we have a stage 3 option at Lavington that provides 2 pools for water polo and overflow for any swimming that's required all year round, providing it does fit the current motion. Also, we've got Thurgoona Willinga growing at an accelerated rate of 400 houses a year. Population growth figured to be around 50,000. I personally see that the centre of Lavington will be the centre of Albury, and people just can't afford to live in central Albury anymore. So essentially, Lavington will become the place of choice, as will Edamoga, Tabletop and Thurgoona. So the next pool, if it's indoor or outdoor, will be built in Thurgoona, is my view only. So essentially, this option is the better option. It's 45 million, not 120 million, as was mentioned in the report that came to council in the 2.5 years of my absence. It's an estimation for a indoor pool at Lauren Jackson. I still think that $45 million, again, I think it's quite responsible with this amendment to, as a councillor group, to consider the costs and the viability of this project at every turn. But at the same token, we've got 2 years left on the pool that's existing. The people of Lavington and people that use those user groups that use that pool have been put through a lot of grief over the last few years, with tiles falling off, concrete found on the bottom of the pool, and so on and so forth. It's still safe to use, but its safety and its usage is declining rapidly. So if you consider what's happening at the Albury Centre at the moment, the boilers currently operating at maximum. We have complaints about the water being not 26 degrees, 25, 24 degrees. The reason why is because the boilers were not designed to be run during the winter. So we're asking those boilers to do something they can't do. So essentially, I see that whole configuration being a major issue for me to consider stage 3 as being the option, because it is about the future. If we keep building things for the now, we just get the now, as is the problem with the hospital development. It is not being built for the future, it's being built for the now or the past. So Lavington deserves the future. Lavington is part of our future, as is the rest of Albury, but we need to embrace the future and be part of that journey. And I see the next major pool development in the Thurgoona Willinga corridor. So I'll be supporting this motion, and I'll default to you, Councillor Cameron, for closing of debate. Thanks.
Thanks, Mayor Mac. There was some discussion around the costs, and obviously it is expensive. But Councillor Baker's statement that it was eye-watering, I find quite difficult to reconcile with his often stated and consistent position of supporting the $120 million chlorinated Palace of Versailles option. I think the people of Albury will see that tomorrow.
He's off on a tangent. Can he stick to the topic?
Is there a point of order, Mayor Mack? I
Yes,
can't
point
quite-
of order, councillor Cameron, you're becoming a little bit too personal. Could you just confine yourself to the debate? The figures would be appropriate, not to besmirch the person who made the point, please.
I'm sorry, I believe I accurately quoted what he said. He said it was eye-watering.
Thank you. Continue.
There was some discussion also about special rate variations. So I want to make something very clear. When I stood for council this time, back in 2012, I think it was, I did it because there'd been, to my disgust and horror, there'd been 4 very significant rate variations forced on the people of Albury by the previous regime, headed by Councillor Glacken. I will never support, and I'm quite happy to, if that's not accurate.
Order.
Point of
That
order,
is factually incorrect. There was not 4. Thank you.
Thank you.
I thank Councillor Glacken for that correction. And I can only say that, was there 3?
Councillor
there-
Glacken, was there 3? Continue, councillor Cameron.
Thank you.
There
And I
was
think,
one special variation of rates. Thank you very much.
and it
Thank you.
and as I recall, in 1 year alone, it resulted in more than 4% extra increase in rates. Anyway, I'm implacably opposed and on the record for many years as being implacably opposed to special rate variations. And while I am on Albury City Council, as far as I can help it, there will never be a special rate variation and there will never be a chlorinated palace of Versailles. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Cameron. It's been remiss of me. Councillor Baker, do you wish to close debate on your foreshadowed motion and amendment 2, please? You've got the last right of reply. So there you go. Thank you.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. That
Yes,
matter,
Councillor
that
Cameron.
matter has been closed. It's been voted on and it's been upheld. It is now the motion. The Councillor Baker's amendment, which I would have accepted, by the way, had you asked me, was voted on and I believe unanimously carried. It can't be now debated again. It is now the substantive motion, which I am now finishing up with.
Well, according to the CEO, it needs to be closed by councillor Baker. Mr.
Oh,
Zach,
who are you going to believe?
Mr. Zachnich.
Thanks, councillor Cameron, through you, Mr. Mayor. So the amendment was moved and seconded and adopted. It became the motion. It was a motion adopted. Councillor Baker had the opportunity to close debate and spoke against it. The debate actually ended when the motion was adopted and became when the amendment was carried and became the motion. So Councillor Cameron has spoken against the motion. It's not a matter of closing debate. That's the clarification on the point of order.
If I may, on the point of order, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, councillor Cameron.
I spoke in favour of the motion currently in front of us,
Correct.
which was the amended motion. And
Okay.
That's what I said. Thank you.
No, it is not, respectfully, Mr. Zachnick, it is not what you said. You said I spoke against it.
Councillor Cameron, I've got to move it for the motion to be put. Councillor Hudson, do I have a seconder for that? Councillor Callahan? You seconding that?
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. Thank you. Thank you, councillors. Thank you, councillor Cameron. Okay, let's move on. 13.3, the draft advocacy strategy 2025-2028 public exhibition submissions. Thank you. Councillor Callahan.
Thank you, Mayor Mack. I move the recommendation that Council A receive and note the 6 submissions resulting from the public exhibition of the draft Albury City Advocacy Strategy 2025 to 2028 and B, adopt the amended Albury City Advocacy Strategy 2025 to 2028.
Thank you. Seconder, thanks. Councillor Bolvin.
Happy to second that, Mayor Mack.
Thank you. Councillor Callahan, did you wish to speak to that at all?
No, thank you.
There'll be no questions or debate. Happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. Thank you. We have the 13.4 development service levels action plan policies public exhibition. Thank you, councillors. Councillor Callaghan.
Thank you. I'd like to move the recommendation that Council A, receive and note the content of this report. B, endorse the draft development information policy for public exhibition for 28 days. C, endorse the draft development assessment policy for public exhibition for 28 days. And D, if no submissions are made seeking amendments to the policy, endorse the policy for adoption.
Thank you. Councillor King.
Happy to second.
Thank you. Councillor Callaghan, just open debate.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Any debate? Doesn't appear to be. Happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. We have the New South Wales government response to New South Wales Parliament inquiry into the ability of local government to fund infrastructure and services. How timely. Councillor Bullivant.
Through you, Mayor Mac. That I recommend the Council A, receives and notes New South Wales Government response to the New South Wales Parliament Standing Committee on State Development inquiry report into the ability of local government to fund infrastructure and services, and B, continues to make active contribution to local government sector advocacy to the state and federal government in support of the financial sustainability of local government services and the communities we serve.
Thank you. Seconder, thanks. Councillor Hudson.
Happy to second that, Mayor Mac.
Councillor Bullivant, to speak to that?
No, thank you, Mayor Mac.
Any question or debate, councillors? Speaking for, Councillor Glacken? Is that your hand up? No? Okay. Any other questions or debate? Just one before we leave this item. I just find it quite incredulous that the state government yet again is ignoring the fact that local governments are on their knees right around the state. Regional local governments, not unlike ourselves, are struggling to meet the demands of growing communities and infrastructure, water, sewer, and all other things magical. And yet again, they're not offering many solutions to this problem. And I really find it hard to understand how the current and new Labor government of the federal government, I remember at conference, our conference, which is on the horizon as we speak, the then leader of the Labor Party, I believe it was Bill Shorten at the time, promised faithfully he would reinstall the 1% FAG grants, and he would also give direct representation for funding direct to local government.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Councillor Cameron.
It may have escaped your notice, but Bill Shorten did not win the election and become the Prime Minister, and is not in a position and was never in a position to make good on those promises. You may have slipped your memory, but the Liberal and National parties won that election.
But Councillor Cameron, you didn't give me a chance to finish the comment, but that's thanks for the
I wish you would, Mr. Mayor.
elimination. Like everything else, though, that didn't come to fruition because they didn't get into government. However, my point right now is with a new government, a Labor government, which I think personally they'll get 2 or 3 terms because of the disaster that we just saw or witnessed, there should be an opportunity for us again to make representation to this Labor government to seek support of direct funding to local government, because unfortunately right now it goes through the CIV, which is state government, and they clip their ticket, and by the time it gets to us, the money is significantly reduced. So I would hope that at the Algoa conference, the motion will be put that there be direct funding of local governments from federal government to enable a little bit more innovation and flexibility in the funding we receive annually from the federal government for various projects. So thank you, Council. I'm happy to go to Councillor Bullivant to close debate.
Nothing again. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. Officers' reports for noting investment balances April 2025. Thank you, councillors. Councillor Bullivant.
I move the recommendation that Council receive and note investment balances report for the month of April 2025.
Thank you. Councillor Callaghan.
Happy to second. Thank you.
Councillor Bullivant, do you wish to speak to that?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Appears to be no speakers for or against. No questions. Happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. Operational Plan Quarterly Progress Report, March 2025. Thank you, councillors. Councillor Callaghan.
Thank you. I'd like to move the recommendation that Council receives and notes the Operational Plan Progress Report, March 2025.
Thank you. Second, thanks. Councillor Billerman.
More than happy to second it, Mayor Mac.
Thank you. Councillor Callahan, did you wish to speak to that at all?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. Albury City Corporate Success Pillars Quarterly Update, March 2025. Councillor King.
I move that council receives and notes the Albury City Corporate Success Pillar Quarterly Update, March 2025.
Thank you. Second, thanks. Councillor Callahan.
Happy to second.
Thank you. Councillor King, did you wish to open debate on?
No, thank you.
There appears to be no further questions or debate. Happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. 14.4, the 2024 Albury-Wodonga Visitor Economy Trends Report. Thank you, councillors. Councillor Bullivan.
I move the recommendation that council receives and notes the 2024 Albury-Wodonga Visitor Economy Trends Report.
Thank you. Councillor Callahan.
Happy to second. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Bullivan, did you wish to speak to that?
No, thank you, Mayor Mac.
Thank you. There appears to be no questions or debate. Oh, you've got a question, Councillor Callahan. That was a bit late.
Sorry.
Okay.
Apologies. I thought someone was going to speak for. Just noting in the report, we had fewer people staying overnight in Albury-Wodonga last year, but those who came for the day spent a lot of money. So Albury's turning into the day trip hotspot. How can we make sure that we keep bringing visitors who stay longer and support our local businesses? We have some strategies in place there.
Mr. Glass.
Thank you for the question, Councillor Callahan, and through you, Mayor Mac. Yes, we are guided by the Albury-Wodonga Destination Management Plan that does include detailed strategies of how we can encourage our visitors to stay longer. And part of that is for our focus on business event tourism, sports carnivals, that type of thing, and improving the tourism product that we have in our region. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Glass.
Thank you. Question from Councillor Bullivan.
Through you, Mayor Mac, to the relevant member of staff.
Glass, your question.
Mr. Glass, just alluding to what Councillor Callahan said about the destination, day trip destination. Have we got any figures from Vic Rail and things like that, that how many people possibly come up on the train? Because we know that now that the trains are particularly booked out all day to and from. So I just wanted some information on that. Maybe there's a bit of a resurgence in people coming up from Melbourne for the day.
Mr. Glass.
Thank you for your question, Councillor Bullivan, and through you, Mayor Mac. Although we get details of visitors and airport usage under the report pulled together each month by the BITRE, the federal government department, it's very difficult to get any detail around rail passenger usage at a state government level. So short of doing regular surveys, which is quite costly, it's very difficult to obtain those numbers other than what you've alluded to, that the trains are quite popular.
Thank you.
Thank you. Question from Councillor King. Councillor King.
Question through you to the most relevant member of staff. I just note, obviously, you may not even have the data to hand, but certainly supporting the growth of the business and conference market is important. How significant is that to how big a trend is that, and is that an area for focus, and is that an area that we see some great economic advantages if it's promoted well?
Mr. Glass.
Yeah, thank you for the question, and thank you, Councillor King, and through you, Mayor Mac. Yes, it is an area that we see as a huge opportunity for us. We're fortunate both with our geographic location as well as some of the infrastructure that we've got to support business event conferencing, being number of beds, our location obviously between capital cities. There is a trend as well, as you've alluded to, for regional events. And in fact, we had our industry tourism partners attended a forum on Thursday of last week, hosted by Murray Regional Tourism, which was exactly that, encouraging our industry partners to take that advantage of that opportunity with our location, our beds, our connection through rail and through air, and that trend towards regional conferencing is something that we're absolutely focusing on.
Thank you.
Question from Councillor Bullivan.
Through you, Mayor Mac, to the relevant member of staff again, thank you.
Continue.
Given that we're spending a heap of money at the airport, have we got any vision into any extra services coming into Albury for passengers? Like I know Adelaide is a particular one of interest to me that I get a lot of people ask about the Adelaide link, and coming into the snow season shortly, all going well, extra services coming into our cities.
Mr. Glass.
Thank you for your question, Councillor Bullivant, and through you, Mayor Mac. As you recall, we did have a service from Adelaide that our airline partner trialled for a couple of years and then have cancelled that service. We continue to work with our airline partners for route development, and certainly Adelaide and Southeast Queensland are areas that we're looking at. And I'd also like to draw councillors' attention to the fact that we've just engaged our consultants to help us develop the aviation strategy, and we'll have our first kick-off meeting this week with those consultants, and route development is a key element of their delivery.
Thank you, Mr. Glass. Just one question from me, Mr. Glass. You talk about the aviation strategy. I hope the cost of airfares to regional locations is one of those issues that will be addressed, because currently the major issue I have is QantasLink and Rex are both charging costs that are beyond the reach of families and young families that want to travel, and certainly it's become the rich people travel and the poor people don't have and have nots. Is that going to be one of the issues that's going to be addressed in that strategy?
Thank you for the question. Advocacy for regional travel was probably beyond the scope of what we're looking at in the aviation strategy, but it's something that council, I think, and staff could consider in terms of their advocacy to government to continue to look at competitive rates for airfares.
Thank you. It's on our radar. Thank you, Mr. Glass. So there are no further questions or debate. Happy to put that motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. The service model review, 14.5. Thank you, councillors. Councillor Callaghan.
Thank you. I'd like to move the recommendation that council receives and notes the report.
Thank you. Councillor Bullivant.
Be to second that, Mayor Mac.
Thank you. Councillor Callaghan, did you wish to speak to that?
No, thank you.
Councillor Glacken, did you wish to speak? You're speaking for?
Yes, indeed. To highlight that Albury City is a very lean operated council, and sorry?
Continue.
Thank you. The consultant made it very clear that the staff structure is incredibly efficient and effective, noting by way of comparison, for example, against other similar councils in size and responsibility levels. So I think we need to be mindful of that into the medium term. In the short term, there are some actions being undertaken, but in the medium to longer term, we clearly need to be reviewing the service model and the structure for Albury City Council to ensure that we have the structure that we need to lead into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Glacken. Any more speakers for or against or questions? No, just one for me, speaking for in relation to the service review. I thank the CEO for the report, and certainly I thank the consultant who delivered the report. Noted that there were 12 recommendations in the report that would be considered and will be considered in the report for consideration by the newly appointed Deputy CEO when he or she starts, and our current Deputy CEO. Those 12 recommendations I feel very strongly about, because I think they do provide equity and spread the workload more evenly, and certainly give an area for improvement, and certainly give us a way forward, because as Councillor Glacken said, we are operating as a lean and mean machine, and hopefully we can get the balance right and provide our staff with the incentive and certainly the support they require to do their job on a day-to-day basis. So thank you. Councillor Cullen, did you wish to close debate?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. Thank you. CM 14.6, the New South Wales Auditor General Report to Parliament. Councillor Hudson.
Thank you, Mayor Mac. I move that council receives and notes the New South Wales Auditor General's report on local government 2024.
Thank you. Councillor Callaghan.
Happy to second.
Councillor Hudson, do you wish to speak to that?
No, thank you, Mayor Mac.
Appears to be no question or debate. Happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. Reports for noting, CM 15.1, the 2025 Regional and Rural Summit, 8th of May 2025. Councillor Callaghan and Councillor Bullivant. Councillor Callaghan.
Thank you. I'd like to move the recommendation that council receives and notes the delegates' report on the 2025 Regional and Rural Summit held on the 8th of May 2025.
Thank you. Councillor Bullivant.
I think I probably should second that one, Mayor Mac.
Thank you. Councillor Callaghan, did you wish to speak to that?
Yes, I do. It was a great opportunity for Councillor Bullivant and I to meet with other rural mayors, deputy mayors and councillors to share our rural challenges and notably too, the criticality of long-term planning and investment of water infrastructure. And I think that is something that Albury City is getting abreast of with our current commitments, which is really critical to the growth of our city. And the second one is reviewing Albury's disaster response planning and incorporating best practice lessons shared by other councillors. Apologies. We can see what's happening around New South Wales currently, but it's not just New South Wales, it's many parts of Australia and around the world. So yeah, I think that's going to be critical moving forward, that we have some good planning in place. So thank you. It was well worth it.
Thank you. Another speaker for Councillor Bullivant.
Thank you, Mayor Mac. It'd be very remiss of me not to thank the Albury City on behalf of Councillor Kelleher and myself for sending us to Sydney to learn a bit about the local government. As a new councillor, it was a bit of an eye-opener for me to see what other councillors and mayors and deputy mayors do for their cities, and just converse and create those links. So for us to the city, thank you very much for the opportunity. We appreciate it greatly.
Thank you, Councillor Bullivant. There are no questions or further debate. Happy to put that. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. CM 16, notices of urgent business. Councillor Callaghan.
Yes, Mayor Mac, I just have one matter of urgent business. I was hoping to seek an update on the car parking at the railway station. It was mentioned before, there's been a huge uptake in to and from. There's been, I would say, extreme overflow happening, verging often on some dangerous car parking. So just hoping for an update of where we're up to as a council.
Ms Squire.
Thanks, Councillor Callaghan. Through you, Mayor Mac. Yes, we have in the last 2 weeks met with ARTC representatives. We are doing some planning and costing for some creation of overflow parking on the vacant parcel of land on that corner, which is currently not occupied. I would be hopeful that we've got some clarity, I'll say by the end of next week, but certainly our teams are ready to activate. Some minor works will need to be done in order to make it safe for people to park there. And there will be some limitations, but I think we're looking at in the order of about 100 additional overflow parking areas, which will just be hard stand and marked with line of dots. But still investigating things like temporary lighting and the like, just to make sure that it's safe for the public to use. So in train and hopefully not too far away.
In train.
Excellent.
Thank you. Train. Okay. Thank you, Councillor Cutland. What was that one, Councillor? Mr. Zagner? You have one too. Okay. We have no further items of urgent business and no confidential matters. I declare the meeting closed at 17:24. Thank you, staff. Thank you, councillors.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.